did about 2,500 slates more on this than we did on Minecraft. We were all freaking out because we reached 10,000 slates. We had about 8,600 something slates.
We have anyone else in the back there? Anyone missing? Yes. Yep, shout it out.
Yep. Just wanted to say thank you very much. Splendid drum. Really
Thank you.
And for a girl, all ass broke loose. All ass broke loose. You kicked ass, dude.
Oh. Well done. Thank you.
See, when you first saw him on stage, you had no idea that he was that deadly.
Don't get mad at him.
Up top? Up top?
Up top, yes, okay, yes.
What is the Aristotelian unity of time, place, and action of storytelling and comedy?
Go home, Robbie.
Or is it constantly achieve awesome movies?
Can you translate for me, please?
He wants a kick in the face. Basically, that's what that means. He wants a kick in the face. And I'm just saying that because I love you, James. All right. We don't have anyone else here. Yes.
How important was it to showcase Salat, considering, I mean, I think about publicity of the film you guys have done. You don't see it in almost any, it's always, Kung Fu or Muay Thai or something, but this is something that you don't see very often. How important was it to, for the fight for you to be sort of realistic and flashy, but also showcase the style, the art of it?
The question is, how important was it to showcase Silat, which is the Indonesian martial arts style, with all the cuts of the...
Kita di sini untuk menunjukkan beberapa style dari silat yang itu tidak membawa tradisi, lebih universal.
The silat, the traditional Indonesian traditional martial arts, showcases a lot of unique tricks, unique techniques, which we don't have in other martial arts.
Di sini kita ada beberapa, semua bela diri punya pukulan, sikutan, tendangan atau kena lutut, itu punya basic dan kita kembangkan dengan silat.
In silat we have a combination of movements, combination of techniques, and then we combine them all, and then we incorporate them all in this Indonesian traditional martial arts silat.
Dan kita tunjukin di sini bahwa untuk fight scene-nya, untuk tidak ada trik-trik kamera ataupun tetap full body contact.
Yeah, we want to show the audience that there is no trick. It's a full body contact movement, and what you can see is it's real silat actions, movements. Yeah.
Just to kind of go a little more specific with some of the things we did, we wanted to find ways as well to use like specific silat movements, but while they're using weapons as well. So that's why for the nightstick, he kind of hits with it and then pulls in and drags the victim. It's very similar to the style of like harimau silat that we used in Miranda, where you hit with an open palm, then you can claw to pull back. And so we kind of adapted that and added that to the choreography, but while using the stick and the knife.
And I want to say it's more than just rare. Silat on screen. I got involved with Gareth when he was working on Marantau, about like halfway through the shoot, I think.
Yeah.
And worked with him on prepping the international release and kind of getting it out. And it's hard to say 100% for sure, but when we started talking about it and we started doing some research, as near as we can tell, this movie and Marantau are the only Silat movies.
Be like that.
We haven't been able to find any other ones. Even back in the 80s when Barry Prima was in his prime and Indonesia was exporting martial arts films, because they were geared for export, Barry did all Kung Fu. I'm dropping the giveaways.
And I mean, that hallway fight scene, I think you kind of topped Old Boy. How long did that take to do?
That was 2 days, 3 days. The corridor, Karimbo, 2 days, 3 days, yeah. 3 days, yeah. On the second day, but 2.5 technically, because on the second day, he, like, just before the shoot, he twisted his knee. And that was about a month before we were supposed to start shooting. And then he got chickenpox. And then he hit puberty, and then 2 weeks before we started shooting, his knee starts to get better. Second day of shooting that fight scene, that was the first fight scene we did. Second day of that, he's just about to hit the guy with a stick, one little misstep, and then his knee pops. And everyone on the crew is, fuck, what do we do now? What do we do now? So we got as many little quick cut close-up stuff of him standing up, so he didn't have to put too much pressure in his leg. Shot those for half a day, and then we came back for one more day then to pick up everything. That was a crazy shoot.
Yeah, and actually, to go back to the question about injuries, I was there for the pickup day. I was on set for 5 days, 6 days?
Yeah.
In March. And the guy who gets his head bashed into the wall again and again and again and again and again. They had to shoot that from multiple angles because it starts on one side and then it spins around. So I was in the hallway and I watched the first angle. And I'm like, yeah, they're resetting, it's going to be the same thing just from the other side. So I went back out into the lobby of the studio when they did it the other way. And as I'm sitting out there, you hear the call for action, you hear the call for cut, and then you hear somebody start shouting for a medic. And I look up and they're walking this guy out and he's gotten dizzy and he's leaning on somebody and it's just blood doused down the side of his head and I'm like, oh my God. They made him up in between the shots and I didn't realize it, but maybe a little bit concussed in doing that.
He was a little bit dizzy, but he had a cup of tea and then later on we did another take then.
What else we have? Yes.
One thing I think that's also unique about this film is I can't imagine there's been another Muslim kung fu superhero. I'm wondering if that element has any play in it. It's kind of.
I mean, it's never really been like a sort of any kind of political intent or anything or something to kind of make everyone, hey, let's all love Muslims. But it's just purely, it's part of Eco's culture, it's part of his life, and it's part of Indonesia, and so it was just one of those things where it kind of